Hello, welcome to Class War Outbreak, second episode of the Console Wars podcast. Take 2. And...
Oh, eat those bullets.
You got Guardians.
Don't look at me, I'm watching the audio. I'm trying to make sure this is
Man, that last take was so much better.
We can use the other take.
Okay, yeah, okay.
We can use the other take.
Whatever. You promise?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no, we can't.
Oh, you deleted it, didn't you?
The audio.
Oh, I'm so sad. Well, next time we promise a better intro. But we do have a couple things to talk about, like why Megan hates Kingdom Hearts 3.
I fucking hate the Disney characters. I hate them. There's like a handful of Disney characters that are okay, but they give you the really annoying ones, because Goofy, who's look, I'm mentally retarded, and it's okay with that. Whatever. And then, not that there's anything wrong with mentally retarded people, but you really shouldn't be throwing him in the middle of an adventure. Just saying. He needs to have like a helmet on or something.
He does. He wears a helmet.
He does wear a helmet.
Okay, fair. Touche.
Take 3?
and then fucking Donald Duck, he's just... Seriously, if that
Do your
thing...
impression, it was beautiful.
Let's say, if that thing followed you around for like 50% of your day, quacking, whatever the fuck language it quacks in, would you really be okay with that?
Absolutely.
You're a fucking dick. You're a liar. And then again, Kingdom Hearts 3, you've been waiting for this game for what, 6-7 years now? Is not going to live up to expectations. It's not.
It'll live up to my expectation.
I'm sure
Because the thing is...
If your expectations are low.
No, because the thing is... The game is going to be great because they've had plenty of other games, not mobile games, but handheld games that have come out since Kingdom Hearts 2 to help refine it and make it better. And if you played those games, but if you played those games at all, you know about what you can expect.
What I'm saying though is, so Kingdom Hearts 3 was really supposed to come out on PS2. And then it's supposed to come out on PS3. And now it's supposed to come out on PS4. They've gone through 3 console generations. There's no fucking way this game is ever going to get done in a timely manner.
Yeah, well.
Because they keep having to redo everything, because you can't develop it
Square
into the
Enix
PS2
never
way.
once said that they were developing Kingdom Hearts 3 for PS3. Never once did they ever come out and say that. No, they did not.
They said it quite a few times.
No, they did not. They never once said that it was
I'm pretty sure that they said that Birth by Sleep was supposed to be for PS3, though.
That's possible.
And then they're
but
like,
they never
PSP.
said Kingdom Hearts 3 was being developed for PS3.
Which was a great PSP.
Not in any sort of public manner, at least.
What? I don't like the games. If I want to play a fucking RPG where the character's going to annoy the shit out of me, I'll just play Final Fantasy IX. At least then it's not a duck quacking at me the whole goddamn time.
I mean, you can swap with the party members. Like, in Kingdom Hearts 3, what I'm really hoping for is to be able to swap out with Kairi and Riku. And
you won't.
Fuck that.
You
I better be able to.
I guarantee you
I
won't.
want Axel.
You won't.
I mean, I guess his name is Lee now, huh?
No, that wouldn't be it either. He's dead. It wouldn't work.
Did you play Dream Drop Distance?
No.
What?
No.
Why? You better play 2.8 the second it comes out. I'm serious. Lee's not dead. He is a Keyblade master. Like, now. Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
Then that's not Axel, though. That's a completely different
No,
character.
it's his human version.
Yeah,
when he was separated from his heart, he became heart.
Right,
yeah.
He became a nobody, right?
But,
So that's not actually
Axel. Yeah,
Axel.
take the X out of Axel, and it's
Yeah,
Lee.
I'm aware.
Well, the only reason
how
why...
it
Are you thinking that they're not the same personality?
They're not the same person.
No, they are.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. The reason why... No, Roxas and Sora were 2 different people, because... God, Roxas is...
That's like saying Xehanort...
Oh, God, we're getting into the story, aren't we?
That's like saying Xehanort, Xemnas, and Ansem were all the exact same person. They're not the same person. One's a Heartless and one's a nobody.
No.
They're not the same person.
Xehanort and one of Ansem were the same person.
No. Xehanort and Xehanort's Heartless.
Xehanort died.
Xehanort and Xehanort's Heartless are not the same person.
When he got killed with the Keyblade, he turned into his Heartless, which was Ansem and Xehanort. No, Ansem and... What was the Heartless? I mean, the nobody's name.
Xemnas.
Xemnas. That's the cutest thing ever. But, the reason why Sora and Roxas were so different was because...
Yeah, I get that.
Okay,
I understand.
so we're not
I
gonna
played
get
Birth by
that.
Sleep. Yeah, I got that.
But
the
no, Lee is very much the same person as Axel.
They're not the same person.
You need to play Dream Drop Distance.
They are not the same. Just because they have the same personality does not make them the exact same person.
And you were worried about filling up an hour and a half.
Right.
Yeah. I guess we'll find out when it comes out. But,
They're similar. I'll give them that. They probably have similar personalities, so that makes sense. But they're not the same exact person. There's no way that Lee has the same memories as his nobody. That makes no sense whatsoever.
I'm pretty sure he does.
Because
you remember, he knows who Sora is the second he wakes up, and he knows why he has to... It's confusing. You need to play Dream Drop Distance. It comes out in 2.8. You need to play it. It's really good. I can't believe you haven't played that game. That was the first 3DS game I played. Like, I played, 2 seconds of Pokemon X, and I'm like, oh, Dream Drop Distance. And, it's good. The redeeming moment in Kingdom Hearts 3, and I think you're going to agree with me, it's going to be
Say hello.
Big Hero 6. Big Hero 6 is going to be great.
I don't even know what that is. What are you talking about?
What?
Big Hero 6 is a movie.
It's a movie.
Okay,
so Disney bought Marvel. That's their first Marvel movie.
Right, it's a movie. What about it?
It's just really good. With Baymax and stuff like that? Yeah.
They're going to be putting it in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Okay,
they're putting the world in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah. Okay, so did you watch Big Hero 6, Megan?
Yes.
Okay, so you didn't watch it. You did? Okay, so you know how... you didn't watch a press conference like that for the Disney... They had a...
Do I look like the kind of person who watches press conferences?
No, she does not.
Do you watch press... Am I the only one who watches press conferences?
I
Okay.
read the news articles of the summary later.
Okay, so at the Disney press conference thing where they're like Disney Fest or whatever, they talked about Big Hero 6 being in Kingdom Hearts 3, and at the end of Big Hero 6, spoilers, I guess, so skip 5 minutes or so. Whatever.
The movie's been out forever.
That's okay.
It's kind of like being like, right. Oh man, the kid in Sixth Sense sees dead people.
I didn't recently watch it until like 4 months ago, maybe since the summer.
Sorry.
At the end, Baymax like falls into that weird portal thing.
Yeah.
And they take out his Baymax chip.
Yep.
So
and they make a new Baymax.
But what's left in that old Baymax body?
I don't know.
The fighting chip.
Oh.
Which is evil.
Yeah.
So evil Baymax is in this portal. Well, the Big Hero 6 world is supposed to be about evil Baymax escaping and like having all those like little like micro robot things like being like he like uses them and he makes his own arm thing from the arm that he lost shooting was a hero into the normal world. And then you get to like ride on new Baymax is back with your Keyblade and you're like, whoa, and you fight him and it's great and it's beautiful and it's gonna be good. It's gonna be the redeeming factor. I know you're looking at me like that, but you're gonna play it because he's gonna make you play it.
I'm not gonna play it.
You're gonna make her play it.
No,
he can't make me
take control of your woman, Steven.
No, I'm not doing that.
Do not make me come over this tiny table.
I'll let her do it. I'll throw her at you.
I'm good. Yep.
BB-8 doesn't want to take your shit.
BB-8 doesn't want to take my shit. I wonder if we lost all of that audio because BB-8 was like screaming into the microphone.
No.
Okay, what do you guys think about 2.8? Like the idea of 2.8?
Isn't it just like Dream Drop Distance and then a bunch of fucking cutscenes?
Dream Drop Distance, a cutscene from a game, and then it has like a small like prequel to Kingdom Hearts 3, which is a sequel to
Birth by Sleep. You play as Aqua.
You play as Aqua. So
yeah, it's a portion where you play as Aqua after the events of Birth by Sleep,
and there is
leading up to Kingdom Hearts.
There's no confirmation that her or what's his name? Roxas, the real Roxas. Ventus. There's no proof that they're dead. So I hope they come back in Kingdom Hearts 3. I want to play as Riku. I want Riku
Ventus
and Kairi to be on my team.
Roxas,
No, because he's still locked away in that castle. He's locked away in a castle. And
kill myself.
Yeah, me too.
Kingdom Hearts storyline is very confusing. Anyway, it's gonna be great. You hate it, whatever. Okay, why do you hate Square Enix?
Why do I hate Square Enix? For a lot of different reasons. They're milking this trilogy shit. Not only are they milking this trilogy shit, they're dragging out Kingdom Hearts for as long as fucking possible. Because, I mean, think about it. They don't have to release 2.8. There's no fucking reason to release 2.8. They could have tacked that. They could have put that in, like, on the end of 1.5 or 2.5 or something. Because it's not... If that fucking comes out at $60, I'm going to be pissed as shit.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be 40
for you guys.
Or 30.
Not for me. I'm not going to play it. I'm going to be pissed as shit for Kingdom Hearts fan who's going to buy, like, a fucking PSP game. Which, by the way, their
3DS game.
Oh, we're going to port a 3DS game to a PlayStation? Really?
It was actually a really good 3DS.
That's gonna go well.
It will. It'll go absolutely well. The same way that the PSP game Birth by Sleep went over to the PS3.
Yeah, but look at Final Fantasy Type O.
What about Final Fantasy Type O?
You play that?
Yeah.
Very clearly not meant to be on PlayStation 4.
I kind of wish they would have made a port for that to the Vita.
I'd have been more okay with it as a Vita game.
I'm a little upset that they did.
But it's just that they started this whole trilogy shit. Now every game that comes out is going to have like 3 or 4 parts to it because of Square Enix.
Kingdom Hearts 3 is not going to be the end.
Kingdom Hearts wasn't the thing that started it though. Because they did that with 10. They tested the waters with 10 and 10-2, and then that did so well that they started doing when they did 13. They did 13-2, and Lightning Returns. And you know that then like what fucking Dissidia was what was supposed to be one of the Versus games or something. Like they just
Dissidia was supposed to be.
There was supposed to be a Final Fantasy.
There was Final Fantasy 13 Versus, which became Final Fantasy 15, and then there was Final Fantasy 13 Ayaga or something like that. That became Type Zero.
At least with the rest of the franchises I play...
Yeah, Gito, there you go.
At least with the rest of the franchises I play, I can follow them. I know Dragon Age Origins comes before Dragon Age 2, and there's not a bunch of shit in between.
Okay, so here's the kind of timeline of everything goes on. Type 0 was a prequel to 13. Like a super prequel to 13.
I thought it was an alternate universe 13.
No.
Well, Type 0 is. Originally,
That's what I'm saying.
Originally Agito wasn't. Agito was supposed to be a prequel to 13, but when they remade it and made it no longer a Final Fantasy 13 game, they made it its own Type 0. They still have like Lassie and stuff, so it's like an alternate universe of 13.
And then there was 13 all the way through the Ending of Returns, which was a confusing as hell fucking story because of the time travel and alternate universe time bending bullshit because you're like, oh. And then they have.
If I want to be confused by time travel, I'm going to watch Doctor Who.
Okay, so Final Fantasy 15 was supposed to be 13 versus... 15 was supposed to be 13 versus, which was supposed to be in the same direct world, wasn't it?
I think so.
You know what 15's going to be?
Awesome.
I don't know. Another game I don't play.
Awesome. I will play the hell out of that. I always say this, but like, I'm just seriously going to stop saying it when that game comes out. But I said the same thing about Metal Gear, and that didn't happen, so...
I bought Metal Gear. I haven't played it, but I bought it.
Oh my god, you need to. So good.
Buy two, get one free. Pick that up in 2 Dynasty Warriors clones.
What was that?
Love me some Warriors games.
Okay, we were talking about Final Fantasy Trilogy, Why?
Well, I don't like Square Enix.
Square Enix, which doesn't like it.
They started the whole trilogy thing. Now a game comes out and it's not a complete story. It's here's part of it, and then you have to wait for the other two. So I end up paying $100.
Well, Final Fantasy 13 was a complete story. It could have ended right there, but they decided not to.
And then they put out 2. And
it's not that they're not putting out games that aren't complete, except for Final Fantasy 7 Remake. That game they are absolutely 100%.
Started it. I'm not saying that they're the ones doing it. They're the ones starting it. The Square Enix guy was the guy who came out and said games come out in trilogies now. They're the fuckers who started that shit.
I'm just saying,
so
though,
now,
like,
Watch
you can't
Dogs
say
comes
that,
out
like,
and
they
it's a
don't
fucking
release
failure.
games. Right.
And then they're going to be like, well, Watch Dogs 2 will be better. I'm like, why wasn't Watch Dogs 1 just the best? Like, why do you...
Because everybody had that game way too hyped.
We'll redeem ourselves with the...
Literally everything they showed was exactly what that game was going to be. They changed a few things in the cutscenes. They made the graphics much, much worse, which was a huge, huge problem.
Console wars, let's do this. Make it work.
We don't cover up BB-8.
Oh, you can put BB-8 behind them. No. There's the PS4 controller in here. I'm gonna die now. Okay, so you hate Square Enix because of trilogies, and that's the only reason why I hate Square Enix?
No, I'm not a fan of their RPGs.
I love Square Enix.
I liked 8.
I like everything about them.
That was it. Though I suppose part of it's because people have been telling me that I'm supposed to like...
She says this even though she likes 10 as well.
I like 10. Okay, fine. I like 10.
The music for 10
I liked the gameplay for 10, too.
Yeah.
I didn't much care for the story or the...
Yeah. What do you guys think
I liked the Dress Sphere system in that what it became and what it...
I like
that Dress Sphere was like basically being able to change your classes in the middle of combat.
Some of the costumes I could have done without.
Yeah, I don't need the costumes. I was like the same thing with Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns. Like, why go back to that? Changing from one scantily clad outfit to another scantily clad outfit. Why can't I just change classes?
I can wear the same clothes. So just if I do a different job at work, I'm not going to put on a different hat.
Okay.
Do you have to put on a different hat?
I do. See, I'm wearing a different hat.
No, for work.
No.
The next podcast is going to be Steven Meath because I'm going to kill the shit out of the other Steven.
What do you guys think about Final Fantasy Explorers?
The fuck is that?
No comment.
What? Okay, you have no idea what that is.
No.
It's Monster Hunters meets Monster Hunters meets Final Fantasy, and they take heroes from the Final Fantasy universe, and you play it. And it's like either single player or you can play with up to 4 people. It's gonna be for the 3DS. That face. Why do you do this to me?
If I'm gonna play up to 4 people, I'm playing Payday. Apparently, there's other people you can be in the Goat Simulator DLC. Like you can be like a dolphin in a wheelchair.
What?
I think.
I've heard none of this.
Because you just bought the heist. You didn't buy the other DLC that it was supposed to have, I think.
There should only be the one that I know of.
Oh, is this happening?
Continue, Steven.
Okay, you don't have any comments about... Do you even know what it's about?
Nope.
Apparently, you just explained it. Monster Hunter
versus
something
that I wasn't very interested in.
Monster Hunter meets Final Fantasy.
Because
Monster Hunter
it wasn't
okay.
a typical Final Fantasy
I
game,
feel like once it comes out and you look at it, I think you'll like it.
Maybe.
I think you're gonna.
I mean, I like Freedom Wars and I like Monster Hunter, so I probably would.
Freedom Wars is kind of fun.
Freedom Wars is so
I played that
good.
for like an hour.
I think Sydney beat it when she was sick. When she said, "I really, really want to finish that game because it's really fucking good."
Oh, look, 7 cents in my account.
Y'all need to play that. Oxenfree. I'm gonna do a let's play for it, and it'll be up. Holy shit! I thought I had a lot of games.
You think she has a lot of games?
I mean, I have a lot of games for a person who has like.
Yeah, you think she has a lot of games? You see how
you just started?
I have like almost 300.
Oh my god!
I thought other stuff came with the Goat Simulator.
Yeah, there's like masks.
Or it might have been they might have been talking about the act because there's Payday. The Payday 2 DLC for Goat Simulator.
The Payday 2 Goat Simulator DLC.
What?
Yeah, Payday 2, Overkill, and I forget the people who made Goat Simulator. They had a collaboration, and they made DLC for each other. So Payday 2 has Goat Simulator DLC where you go into a heist instead of, you need to rob these, or acquire this cocaine that somebody just happens to place inside goats.
Oh, that's a game we could talk about.
What, that Dragon Cancer? I'm not gonna play it.
I know you're not gonna play it because you're gonna find your soul and you're gonna start crying, and I'm gonna laugh my ass off. Oh my god!
Oh, these are all my screenshots. That's the penguin that I loved, and then beat the.
What is that?
Is
that Ark?
Can see this,
I know.
Right?
Is that Ark or is it okay? Okay. Next topic.
Yeah, I'm not talking
before we get off track.
I'm not watching that Dragon Cancer. I'm not gonna play it. It's just not. Nah.
You're gonna cry like a little baby.
I don't really like games like immersive narrative games like
heartless.
that. Yeah.
I'm gonna cry.
It's just one of those things. Like I don't like. I want my game to have game in it. Which I'm not saying.
Unless it's made by Quantic Dream, in which case that's okay.
Yeah, but it's so much. There's a lot of game in it. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. There's a lot more game than, like, say, Gone Home.
Yeah, Gone Home is just.
I love Gone Home as well.
Neither one of us are saying it's a bad game.
Yeah, it's a great game. I
just
loved
wouldn't
it,
call
but
it.
it's a walking simulator.
In my definition, I wouldn't call it a game.
That's game news because that just had a console release, and that's a segue to our next portion. It's not really a segue, but
actually, I think it might by the bare definition.
By the bare definition, it's a game. I'm not saying it's like it's.
But games like Minecraft are actually defined as a toy. Because Minecraft has no goal. A game is defined as something with a clear
has a goal now. Minecraft has a clear and defined goal. I gotta get to the end and I gotta punch a dragon in the dick.
Wait, is that a thing?
Yeah, there's an inner dragon that you kill, and once you kill it, the credits roll. So technically, I guess you could call it the ending of the game.
Okay, I just haven't played enough Minecraft to know this, I guess.
Yeah.
Gone Home. I freaking love that game. It blew me away. Like, I had no idea that's the direction it was going to go.
Oh yeah.
I'm really glad that I knew no spoilers about that game.
Yeah.
I'm really happy with the way it went.
Yeah, you don't want to go into that game with having spoilers.
I have it, and I haven't played it. I watched somebody else. I watched a YouTube playthrough of it when it first came out, and it just, like I said, I mean, I can see where it's a good game because a lot of people like it, and the message is all nice and fuzzy and heartwarming.
I also love how you were playing a character. You weren't like yourself or that. You were playing a character, and that character had certain morals and acted a certain way. Like whenever you find the diary page in the bathroom, that was her sister's intimate retelling of an intimate moment.
Yeah,
and then the character's like, "No, I'm not going to read that." And when you try to go back to read it, she won't do it. She's like, "I'm not going to do it."
It makes me crazy. I want to read it so bad. I'm like, "Oh my god!"
It's like, I'm not going to be nosy.
I'm not
like, I thought it was really.
He wants porn in his game.
Totally.
Yeah, clearly.
He wants text porn.
If you want porn in your game,
we can talk about
if you want porn in your game, play Honey Pop.
Oh, we're getting loud. That thing's going.
Yeah, play Honey Pop.
What? Wait, what?
Honey Pop. It's literally.
You want porn in your game? Play Honey Pop.
No, that's for straight men.
Our lesbians.
It's for fucking breeders.
Our
Like,
lesbians.
I mean, it's okay.
Our lesbians.
It's like sports.
Or
it's for breeders and lesbians.
I like the clicking puzzles.
It's like
I don't care much for the sex part, but I really like the clicking puzzles. I like Bejeweled.
I don't know. My thing about that I really liked about Gone Home is like any second I was waiting for a ghost to pop out of nowhere.
See, that's
because they kind of teased it like there's like this is gonna come and fucking get you, and I'm just like I was freaked the fuck out the entire game.
That was one of the things I didn't really much care for was that they didn't market it as a horror game, but they didn't stop anybody else from being like, yeah, it looks like a horror game. And it's not. It's like some story about some chick running off with a lesbian friend. I think that's the best part
because people go into it expecting one thing and then get something completely different.
I know. To me, it just wasn't. I said, personally, my opinion, that was the one thing about it I was just like, eh.
And then you got that fucking whore mother, like, ooh, tell me about Ranger Rick with her stupid friend Carol. I just wanted to punch everything. I'm like, you stupid bitch. And then she ended up being like this gigantic bigot and like, oh my god, my daughter, you can't you can't see your friend anymore because she gets you into trouble, and then she's like, fuck you, mom, going on your anniversary vacation, even though you're sleeping around with this Ranger Rick, even though it wasn't confirmed that they were doing it, but I think they were, and they ran off together. It was beautiful, and I could, I said this in my little Let's Play when I was going through the credits and stuff like that, and I was thinking maybe a narrative, like, what do they call those? Comic books that are video games?
Visual novels.
Visual novels. I would like to see a visual novel sequel to kind of see what the hell happens when mom and dad come back from their vacation. I mean, or at least like play through.
I don't know.
Little sister's eyes in a new place.
I personally
escape.
I personally like leaving the conclusion up to your imagination because you can imagine it ending however you want, rather than having a definitive.
I can just pretend that Life is Strange is a sequel.
There was oddly enough. So
that's the kind of like the perfect
English,
characterization of that.
In English 2 in high school, we read a story that didn't have an end, and one of our assignments was to write an end for it.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, "Fuck this."
Are you kidding me? I love that project.
But I did as Mercutio throw myself on the floor and then lay there for 40 minutes.
Speaking of projects, the project that she did in that game was like funny and like disturbing as fuck at the same time.
The what?
Like the menstrual cycle project that she had to do. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Nope.
What?
There's an assignment she had to do where she had to like tell a story about the menstrual cycle or the testicular cycle or whatever the hell.
Oh yeah.
And she was like talking about a war and people's legs getting blown off and like going blind and shit. I'm like, what the hell? So like, it's the same. She was like mocking her teacher and like, like I'm like, haha, she's mocking her teacher. And then I was reading like the comics and I'm like, oh, this is really fucking dark and just disturbing as hell. But I don't know. I think if you're like 16 and angsty, I think that game is like, they should like fucking teach that shit in school. Like that game is so good. I loved it. Yeah. So that's my thing on Gone Home. Now we can talk to PC ports. Because that was a PC game that went to console, but we're kind of talking about the opposite. Console games going to PC, and why you think
none of us have issues with the PC. So one, it used to be in the past that console games were developed on PC and then just ported over, and that's worked well. But essentially, lately they've gone the other route where they're developed on consoles and then ported like fucking shittily to PC. So the one I fucking hate is Skyrim. Skyrim was very clearly developed on console and then ported over to PC, and you can tell because the fucking controls are basically as if I'm using a controller. I have an entire keyboard at my disposal, but I use like maybe 20% of the buttons.
Yeah, that's true.
Fucking Dragon Age Inquisition did the same thing.
But it was still better when you played it on PC.
Dragon Age Inquisition did the same thing because they basically designed it as if you're playing with a controller, because in Origins I could drag the bottom bar all the way out and I have all of my spells right there. With Inquisition, I end up with a couple extra spells, and I can only assign so much
like
to
9
do it.
Total. It's ridiculous.
And it's just...
It's
frustrating.
It's frustrating.
And then fucking half the time when they port them over to PC, they don't fucking work. Fucking Batman Arkham Asylum still doesn't... Arkham Knight still doesn't work.
I don't think they'll ever release it.
Like, that still doesn't work. The Dark Souls have to be fixed. Dark Souls was... Dark
Souls 1 was, but in FromSoft's defense, they even said that they were never intending to develop it on PC. They were console. They were console. No. I'm glad they did, because you had modders in the community that within a couple of hours had already fixed the major problems with the game, and you could play it better on PC, and that was nice. But at least FromSoft had the wherewithal that when Dark Souls 2 was coming out to hire PC programmers to release Dark Souls 2, and it came out so much better on PC than it ever did on console.
You need to send me a link to that fix thing, okay. Because I have Dark Souls and I want to do Drunken Souls Let's Play.
Because so like what kills me with
I'm not going to even start that game until I have that thing downloaded on there.
What kills me with console to PC ports is that it feels like an afterthought, which is ridiculous because PC downloads is like $1 billion industry. People make so much fucking money, but they're just like, we're gonna throw this out on PC. We're gonna like they come out later. They make so much money off of They come out later than games. They come out later than they're supposed to than they do on console half the time, and then they don't like sometimes they just don't fucking work. And like you had 2 extra months to develop this fucking game. Why doesn't it work? What did you fucking do? Did you take those 2 months and like I don't know, die? You did a root canal and just forget what you were doing?
It's because Did
you go on a vision quest?
Developing on console is much, much easier because you don't have to worry about the many variables of people's setups. Consoles, they're always have the exact same specifications.
But here's the thing, though.
They don't give you options to change the graphics settings, that kind of stuff. So when you go to PC, it's much more complicated. So for them, it's just easier to develop it on console. Then when they move it over to PC, they don't know how to adapt.
But then that's the issue, is you go through, they don't know how to adapt, so they don't have the proper teams to do it. Like, the Dark Souls people went out and they hired new people, and that's fantastic. They admitted, hey, we don't know how to do this. Let's go find help to do this. And then, but other companies are just like, yeah, we could do this, and then they don't. They take a month to 2 months extra to come out, and then they just don't fucking work. Like, they're glitched all to hell. The only game I expect to be glitchy when it comes out is a fucking Bethesda game.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Which is weird, because their stuff is always usually, like, when I think of Bethesda, I think of, like, no, I'm not even going to say that. Like, never mind. I changed my mind.
Don't you dare say that you expect Bethesda games to come out not
but they're always quality. Like, they always have good stories. They always have plenty of gameplay.
No, I'm not saying they're bad. They're bad.
It's kind of strange that
I'm getting increasingly irritated. I'm getting increasingly irritated at the amount of games I'm playing on my PC that require me to use a controller to get the better experience. I
can't even get my controller to work on my PC, and I have the freaking things downloaded on there, the drivers.
What, for Xbox?
No, I was using my Elite controller, and I'm like, oh, let's play fucking Counter-Strike with a controller, and you can't do it. They're like, map your buttons. I'm like, okay, I'm mapping my buttons, and I can't walk. Everything works except for my joysticks. I'm like, I hate everything.
Yeah. Well, if you're playing a shooter on the PC and you pick up a controller, you should probably go die in a fire anyway.
But people who are using a keyboard and mouse are gonna wreck your ass.
Yeah,
no, you're right.
Wreck your ass.
But I wanted to try it, just to freaking try it, because Counter-Strike is always that game that I always wanted to be able to play, and now I have a PC and I can play it, and I'm happy about it. But I'm still not used to it because I'm a console gamer.
Trust me, though. Just give it time to adapt to a mouse and keyboard format. Once you actually play with a mouse and keyboard, it'll be extremely difficult to go back and playing a shooter with a joystick.
Well, I mean, I've gotten a lot better at it now. I mean, like,
I play Payday with a controller. That's because I don't aim.
I would rather
just pray and sprays.
Yep.
I would just rather.
It's called a Vulcan minigun, motherfucker.
Be able to actually have that as an option. Yeah. Because like when I go back to play Dark Souls, I'm pretty sure I'm going to want to play it on
I just want my PC games.
You don't play those games on.
I want my PC games developed for PC, for PC gamers. That's all I want.
There are quite a few.
What did you think of Witcher? Well, no, you didn't. Did you play Witcher on PC or did you play it on?
Oh, I played it on PC.
Yeah,
it's fucking fantastic.
That one was amazing.
That's another one though that I had.
They did a really good job with that one.
That was another one though that I had an easier time playing with a controller than I did with a keyboard.
But I mean, when you played with mouse and keyboard, was it like noticeably wrong?
Or it wasn't wrong. It just feels real. It feels awkward sometimes. Like just the way that I'm sure maybe if I go in and I remap the keys on some of these things, I probably won't have as many problems. But that's the way the initial setups usually are. It's just not like the one of them required you to click a middle mouse button on which are like one of your attacks or something, and I didn't have one.
How do you not have a mouse that doesn't have a middle mouse button?
It wasn't that mouse. It was a different mouse. I had a mouse that didn't have a middle mouse button. I had a mouse that didn't have a middle mouse button.
That's like mainstay right now. Like if you don't have a mouse with a middle mouse button, you shouldn't be on PC.
Hey,
let alone gaming.
I'm just saying.
PC.
Sometimes you lose a mouse and you got to go get a new mouse, and sometimes the cheapest mouse is not the mouse you should have.
Even the super wireless mouse for like $15-20 has a middle mouse button. It's the ones that I get.
I'm just saying.
We're not gonna give you help.
No,
he might.
She must be buying like those like $5 like paper mache.
Look, I found this at a garage sale for 50 cents. It's from the 80s.
This uses a PS2
I'm pretty sure those actually have
instead of USB.
Well, it was like when I first moved.
Do PCs even have PS2 ports anymore?
Yeah.
Or is it all USB?
No, certain motherboards still do.
I know mine does.
That one does.
Of course. Probably what she was using. That's
probably
what
that was not
what kind of port?
A PS2.
What?
There's a type of port that's called PS2. I forget what it stands for.
I'm like, what the fuck?
It's the circular, so we coordinated USB.
Okay, I gotcha.
But before I moved, like when I moved into this place, before I got my mouse, this thing, I was using the touchpad on the DualShock 4.
Really?
Yeah, because to get it to work, it's like DualShock 4. It's DualShock 4 Windows, like that's the name of the program. And it tricks your PC into thinking your PlayStation 4 controller is an Xbox One controller, and you can use the touchpad as a mouse.
That's kind of awesome.
Yeah, right clicking was a pain in the ass, but left clicking was perfect.
All right, so I guess we're done with PC ports. I guess what to say about that?
I don't really have much to say. That's my problem. Is I want it just feels like they're too console oriented. Like it feels like they're trying to turn my PC into a console.
Right.
Which is
exactly what Valve did with the Steam machine.
Yeah,
they turned your PC into
the console, like the PS4 and the Xbox One, run very similar to PCs Especially you can see it in the fact that the games have to install and they run mostly off the hard drive instead of off the CD.
And also whenever they like showcase games, they showcase it on a PC.
Fucking Microsoft. Low blow.
This is totally playing on an Xbox One. Crashes to a Windows 7 PC. Yeah, okay.
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
What are
this
you...
was
one of the E3s.
It was a long time, like
Yeah.
right before the Xbox One came out, and they were still catching a bunch of shit over their initial Xbox One policies. They were showing a game, and then somebody put a picture up that circulated through the internet of it having, like, whatever they were playing had crashed to Windows 7, and then somebody
had crashed to a Windows 7 desktop.
Somebody else had a bunch of stuff, somebody else had a bunch of pictures that were going through of the PCs that they were running the games on.
Yeah. So not only were they not showcasing the game on an Xbox One,
they were Windows 7.
It was a Windows 7 PC, not even a Windows 8 PC.
Yeah. It was
Which
really
just goes
funny.
to show how much Microsoft knew that Windows 8 was not optimized for games.
They're not actually supporting Windows 8 anymore.
Yeah,
Like regular Windows 8, anything
anything
earlier than 8.1, they're not going to support anymore.
Yep. Well, everybody's got to upgrade to Windows 10.
Which is quick, which is fast.
That was very fast.
Yeah.
Like, because at least they just stopped supporting XP a few, maybe a year ago.
Well, XP was a really, really good operating system for a long time. So
I mean,
I'm actually afraid of the day they'll stop supporting Windows 7. I'll have to get Windows 10.
Yeah.
And Windows 10 is really good.
I know.
I hear Windows 10 is is the tolerable parts of Windows 8 mixed with Windows 7.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Which I guess is okay. It's still too processor heavy. I don't fucking like it. Like, it's too much of a drain on the resources. That's why I like 7, and why I preferred XP over everything, because XP was so simplified, it didn't drain so much of your computer's processing power. Windows 8 and 7 have so much, like, 8, 7, and 10 have so much shit going on in the background that it kills it.
Yeah, get a better processor.
I shouldn't have to build another $1,200 gaming rig just to run Windows 7 and all the other stuff I want to run.
Well, you don't need to build another $1,200 gaming rig. All you gotta do is change your processor.
We already did that.
Well, there you go. You should be fine then.
Fuck you.
Okay, we can talk about...
Drop the C word, bitch.
frames per second?
Come on.
I'm just
This
saying,
is
it's fucking retarded. They take these games...
This is why we have her here.
They take these games... So a game... The problem is you have this fucking generation of people, and Total Biscuit started... I think it was Total Biscuit that started this shit.
He didn't start it, but
Somebody started this shit.
Very vocal.
He's definitely vocal about it, because they started that fucking Steam group, and they were like, these games... telling you, like, what ran in 60 frames per second and what ran in 30 frames per second, and yes, there's a noticeable difference. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
if I play a game,
slow motion.
If I play a game from 30 frames per second and I play a game in 60 frames per second, there's a noticeable difference. But there's no fucking... Like, it doesn't... 30 frames per second is not slow.
Comparatively, though?
Compared to 60, yes.
That's the only thing.
It's like people are like, it's like once 60 frames per second happened, people were like, 30 frames per second, what's that shit? I'm like, it's the shit you grew up on. In fact, you're lucky you got 30 frames per second, because shit didn't run that fast before. And they're like, oh, well, this game doesn't run in 60 frames per second, I don't want to play it. And I'm like, well, you're a fucking dick. That's what you are. Some games, great story. Like, what happened? What happened to games being judged on their content and not how pretty they looked? That's like me not dating you because you look fugly. You don't, sweetie, I'm just saying.
I love you, stupid.
I'm just saying.
I don't think you're a fugly.
So we spent all of this...
I'm gonna dump you for him.
That's fun.
I'm okay with that too, hey.
But so we...
Bobby Kane?
So we do this thing where we're trying to, like, promote positive body image and shit, but we're still judging our books by their cover. It's fucking retarded.
Yeah, no, I get that, like, 30 frames per second is, for me personally, is not a terrible frame rate to play something at. Anything under 30, pretty much unplayable for me. I can't do it.
But that's 30, anything under 30
is acceptable to me, but if I have the option to play it in 60 frames, I would much prefer to play it in 60 frames.
And I don't mind that. What I'm saying
is... it runs so much
people who, like,
there's
leave
this
out...
whole fucking group of people, especially in that Steam group's, like, the fucking part of it, because people... It started as a thing to like, an educational thing to show people what games have played in 60 frames, but it's not. It's this bias. It's this terrible prejudice of people who are just bashing games because they don't play in 30 frames per second.
60.
Never mind... Well, you know what I mean. Never mind the fact that the game could be fantastic. It could have the best story you've ever heard of in your entire life, but the graphics are kind of mess, so I'm not going to play it. You're missing out. You're missing out. That's like picking up a book, seeing a really shitty cover, and being like, bleh.
Like, Dark Souls 1 plays exclusively in 30 frames unless you play it on PC with
and
DS.
It's a fantastic game.
It's a fantastic game.
Well,
everybody loves
people.
Dark Souls.
Some people.
So it's another prime example of a game that is fine in 30 frames, and it's a great game. Everybody loves it, regardless of it not playing in 60 frames, aside from...
But then you run into those cunts who are like, 60 frames, graphics aren't good. Graphics aren't good. Go fuck yourself. Just go drown yourself, please.
Granted, I will admit, sometimes playing a game in 30 frames and 60 frames does play differently, because 60 frames, especially Dark Souls, for instance, it was meant to play in 30 frames. When you play the 60 frames, the combat speeds up so much, it makes the game so much harder. So I can kind of see how sometimes you'd want to play it.
But that's like
frames.
one game.
Right. It's one example that I can give you. I can't give you another example.
But they'll pull the most obscure shit out of there, like, oh, well, Final Fantasy 13 doesn't run in 60 frames per second, which, to be fair, there's no reason to lock things to 30 frames per second. I agree with you that I want the option, but I don't think that it should be a deciding factor like it is for so many people. So many people are like, well, 60 frames. Blah, 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 blah.
And I feel like the issue could be easily solved if they would give you an option of your definition. If they would let you play 30 frames at 1080p, at your choice, you can do that. But if I want to play it at 720p, at 60 frames per second, I will gladly take that small resolution knockdown to play it at 60 frames.
But they don't.
Personally.
It's
but
one
they don't
way
give
or
you
the
option.
other.
It's always one way or the other.
If
they would just give us the option, I think it would be as big of an issue.
Just saying. I don't like... A game can have a fantastic story and the graphics be shit. I mean... Nobody, like, KOTOR 1 had a great... KOTOR 1 for the first part. Yeah, motherfucker. KOTOR 1, for the most part, those graphics weren't, like, groundbreaking when that game came out. It wasn't... I wouldn't have called it impressive while it was relevant content. And I played it while it was relevant content. That doesn't mean looking at, like...
The tooltips were littered in, like, D20 math.
Yeah, okay, I love that part. But no, it's just one of the things. KOTOR was a game with a fantastic story. It had a great story, and the graphics weren't impressive. It wouldn't be a game that somebody would look at and go, "If this is a pretty game, I'm going to play it." But if you didn't play it and you didn't get into the story, you're missing out on something.
Could you imagine a KOTOR Definitive Edition?
Oh my god!
God.
Fucking Definitive Editions.
Oh, the segue!
I thought it was a good one.
That was a beautiful one. I love you, Steve. You better break up with it for me, because I'm saying...
I don't... So, like, Definitive Editions I don't mind so much if they come out within enough time for it, like, within, like, far enough time. So they're putting out a Dying Light Enhanced Edition or whatever, which is supposed to have all the DLC that came out with the other thing, which is fine. That's fine. It's supposed to have better graphics.
Yep.
What the fuck?
They did the same thing with The Crew. Because The Crew, that's another
had
Ubisoft,
the
that's
Wild
another
Run
Ubisoft
edition.
game that had amazing graphics until it came out. That map was huge, by the way, so I don't blame for that. But
no,
like literally, like this week or the week before, they came with the Wild Run edition. Came with all the DLC, extra cars, and the updated graphics. I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, you mean the game that you marketed... Here's another thing about marketing. The game that you marketed to me, like, when it was freaking announced, are you serious?
Honestly, what I don't understand what they do is why do they re-release it as another game that they're going to charge you for? Why not do it like a lot of PC games did? Dragon Age Inquisition came out...
fucking patch?
Dragon Age Inquisition came out, it wasn't necessarily the best looking game, but EA quickly, or I say quickly, they pushed out a high-resolution texture pack that you could download and make it look a lot better. For free, with no cost to anyone.
And the problem is, so
they
like,
should just do something like that.
Logically, I understand why they might want to do this, because a lot of these games, because we're only on like the third year of this new console cycle, a lot of these games when they came out, people didn't know what they were doing in terms of, like, that's why all the games kept getting pushed back, because they didn't really know quite how to develop. So I understand logically why you would want to do it, but I'm like, fucking put those resources into a new goddamn game. I want to see new IP. I don't want to keep seeing enhanced editions or Game of the Year editions.
Okay, no, I understand if you're taking it from a 360 game and turning it into an Xbox One game, or a PS3 game turning it into a PS4 game.
That's different.
Because, like, you got Tomb Raider and you got the Definitive Edition.
I'm saying things like Dying Light and The Crew, which came out.
Don't know what to think about that, because Dying Light's a really good game. I'm gonna buy that DLC, that $30 season pass thing, just to be able to get that Definitive Edition stuff.
Don't even. Season passes. Fucking. It's stupid to buy a season pass when you can wait a year now. They'll come out with a Definitive Edition to the game, and you can buy the game and the DLC for cheaper than you bought the game in the first place.
That's very
I don't know if Dying Light... They don't have a whole... Okay, so yeah...
Dying Light didn't have a whole lot of DLC
the only games
in the first
that you ever
place.
actually want to get a Game of the Year edition, like... They're your AAA games. Like, well, I guess...
I'm just saying, I'm not gonna buy season passes anymore, because if I'm patient enough...
I don't buy season passes that often either, but that one I feel like is a good one, because you know Dying Light's not gonna... They're not gonna do, like, a sequel to Dying Light. They're not gonna do, like... I guess we gotta wait for Dead Island 2 for the next Dying Light sort of game.
If Dead Island 2 ever comes out.
It probably won't come out, because they changed the developer. They changed the developer. But...
what was that quotes for? It's literally not Techland anymore.
No, I know, but they're like, oh, we got a new developer working on it, but they haven't announced anything about a new developer yet. So, like, I
thought they already announced the new developer.
Nope, they just said that, like, oh, this person's not working on it anymore because they fucking suck. And they didn't say anything else about it. No, but if I'm okay paying $30 to get, I guess, a sequel, because this edition that they're adding onto the game is almost as big as the original game itself. It's huge. So
that's an expansion pack.
Exactly. So instead of getting a sequel, I pay $30 and get pretty much a whole other game.
Yeah, but like people were.
But I mean, it's a sizable.
People were
update.
freaking out over that fucking Witcher Enhanced Edition, and CD Projekt Red was like, "Yeah, you guys need to shut the fuck up." They're like, "We haven't even put out the second expansion pack yet."
Which is supposed to be great.
That was a game I didn't mind having the season pass for, because those expansions, like those.
Boom. What did I tell you?
The expansions for that game are like an extra, like 6 to 9 hours. Like it's, I paid $30 and I get an extra like almost 18, 20 hours of gameplay out of it.
For what?
Witcher.
Watch Dogs Season Pass was really good too.
Dragon Age is pretty good about that too.
Dragon Age is fantastic, but they don't sell season passes.
Yeah,
because they know people are going to buy that DLC.
You bought a $20 or $25 season pass for Watch Dogs, and it came with a really sizable.
It was $30.
It was. I don't think it was $30. I'm pretty sure it was $25. At most $25.
$29.99.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Okay, he's fact checking for us. The DLC for that was really good though. That was like an 8-hour extra story mission where you played as a completely different character, and I fucking loved it.
Well, I mean, that's neat whenever you use the DLC, but it's just, again, they keep taking these enhanced editions, and like the games that they put out, it's one of those things where, because they can get away with it now.
Yep.
It was 20, really?
It was 20.
Another
it was actually a really cheap one.
Infamous Second Son was another good example of good DLC, because they had that, you get to play as, what's her name?
Well, and that's the thing, like, the problem is they take, so it used to be, you put out a game, and the game was terrible, or the game's graphics didn't look good, or whatever, and that's it, you moved on. You were like, I'll just put that into my failure column, and I'll move on, and I'll make a different game.
Move on to another game,
but
a sequel to the game.
And they take things like The Crew, and they take Dying Light, and they're like, oh, well, I guess the graphics weren't that good the first time.
Well, I mean, that's the crazy thing about Dying Light, though, because that game looked amazing.
No, that's the crazy thing about this.
The
thing about Dying Light, though, is that Techland is more. They seem to have a little more bias towards PC gamers, because that game was fantastic. Also, that updated graphics and all that, from what I was hearing from a friend of mine, that's supposed to be free. It's free on PC.
Yeah,
but because it's on console, they can't push out a patch like that, so they have to release it as another disc for whatever reason.
And, then
and I'm sure that's a lot of complications with the patching process between PC.
I mean,
you can patch.
Minecraft
you can patch on P. The thing is that you can patch.
Yeah, but Minecraft has to go through. Minecraft is months behind.
You can also patch on PC with no troubles, no problems whatsoever. Every time you patch through PS3 or through Sony or Microsoft, you have to pay them for so much after your first patch. It's to try. I guess it's to kind of discourage you, or to and this got to go through a whole approval process between Sony and Microsoft to make sure the patch is good enough to go through, all kinds of stuff like that. And I'm sure Minecraft doesn't have that problem anymore since Microsoft now.
Yeah, well,
Minecraft,
I think they probably solved that problem on PC.
Yeah,
but it's.
But either way,
and
this is one of those things that's easier to do on PC.
It's just an example of how gaming has evolved. Because before, like, I go to the store and I buy a PS2 disc, and maybe it's got some bugs in it, whatever. But the game was there. Like, I got the game.
Yeah.
And the issue is now they're like, well, we can patch stuff afterwards. And I'm like, but that's. It feels like a lot of people, like a lot of developers use as an excuse to not do as much quality assurance testing because people want the game and they want it now. You can't be like, well, unless you're Nintendo, you can't be like, well, we need to push this game. We wanted to get this game out at this time, but we can't because, it's not working. Like, we hit some bugs.
Nintendo's been doing a lot of pushes lately because they just pushed Star Fox again. And the thing
I'm glad that Atlas
still does it. Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, I'm glad that they push things back.
But yeah, Nintendo did that with Zelda Wii U. They were like, well, we're gonna put this out then. It's not ready, never mind. And then Star Fox, they were like, you know what? This game's finished. We could put it out. We'd be happy with it, but not as happy as we should be. And so they pushed it back so they could fix it.
I'm kind of glad that they pushed it, but I'm hoping that the reason they pushed it a second time, well, I guess this is the third time that they're pushing it, is because I'm hoping they're making the graphics better, because that game can be so much better than it is.
Well, they admitted that the reason they pushed it back the third time is polishing. They're like, the game is 100% done. They're like, we could release this game today if we wanted to.
Wait, what?
Plot was it's coming out on NX.
Which we still
That'll be another one that comes out, just like Zelda U, it'll be Wii U and NX.
And it'll be better on the Wii U, because it was really developed for the Wii U. Go Twilight Princess.
Twilight Princess Amiibo, you heard about the dungeon. Like, if every version of Twilight Princess that's being released right now, I believe, comes bundled with that Amiibo. And with that Amiibo, you unlock a whole new dungeon.
Yep.
And I think that's fantastic. Now, it's just a rumor. It's not confirmed by Nintendo. Is it confirmed by Nintendo? I don't think it was. But
what happens when they stop selling the Amiibo with Twilight Princess, though?
I don't think they will.
They may not. They have it, like...
Are you talking about, like, a pre-owned copy of it?
Well, I mean, pre-owned copy.
You still play that level.
Example.
You just don't play that level?
You still play that level.
Oh, but they might... I don't think that they'd sell it as
No,
DLC.
I like Nintendo...
Like, will they ever sell it separately, you think, the Amiibo?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they will. I'm positive they will.
I like Nintendo
just
because...
like Green Yarn
every time they re-release a game, they're the best people at this. Every time they re-release a game, it's actually a major improvement. So like Wind Waker, when they released it from GameCube to when they remade it, I say it's remastered. It's remade.
Yeah,
that game was rebuilt from the ground up. Wind Waker. Legend of Zelda Wind Waker.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, that game is so beautiful.
Not only did they make the game look pretty, it played a lot smoother. The fucking boat was 50% faster. Oh my god! And then you didn't have to find Tingle to translate the maps. You could just go get your fucking Triforce. It was like, God damn Nintendo. And apparently
the same thing with Majora's Mask.
In Twilight Princess, they did I think they did something similar in Ocarina of Time. I just can't remember what it was.
They made it look better.
But in Twilight Princess, whenever you're doing like Wolf Link's thing, like his specific levels, they're supposed to make that you like faster, or you don't need as many of the items you have to collect or something. Like they're making that less tedious. I'm like, thank you, Nintendo.
That was a good thing about Majora's Mask. They changed so much about it. They added fishing for the first time in Majora's Mask. They added extra bottles. They added I think it was one of the Song of Times, allowed you, instead of skipping ahead an entire day or an entire day-night cycle, you could actually go by the hour to where you wanted to go. So it was a lot less tedious.
Yep.
That was like the original game. The original game is always like, let me just sit around here and wait around.
I beat Ocarina of Time with 2 bottles.
If developers want to release enhanced editions, they need to do that. They need to go back through the game, not just make the graphics better and be like, well, here's all the DLC with it. Go through and be like, well, people didn't like this. Let's fix this real quick.
Well, the cool thing about Ocarina of Time re-released, they came with a Master Quest too, but I think they did that. Okay, that game was re-released twice.
It was re-released
because it was originally
on
for 64, then to GameCube,
and then it was re-released on 3DS.
Okay,
yeah. But they had to do something on the 3DS.
And now they're doing the same thing with Twilight Princess. I'm okay with the Twilight Princess remake coming out because I love that game. Everyone's like, the game's
more
so
than
fun.
okay.
What? Are you kidding me? That game was amazing.
Thumbs up.
Everybody also said that Wind Waker was going to suck, and then it became a classic.
The thing is, people still say Wind Waker suck, and you know why? The fucking graphics. Which were fantastic, by the way. People can go fuck themselves. We don't like the cell shading. What the fuck do you think Borderlands is? Borderlands is cell shaded with a black outline.
I like the deviation. I think that art style is really cool. I kind of would have liked them to make
fucking love that game.
Wind Waker for the 3DS though. I feel like when they released it for the Wii U, they could have brought it to 3DS. I would have liked it more that way. Because Wind Waker is such a long game. I would have liked it. And it's such a cartoon, easy style to port over. Like it just could have gone on the 3DS.
You get the GameCube version.
I would have really liked Twilight Princess on the 3DS, but
yeah, because of that new joystick.
I think
they were rumoring that too. I
it
think
would have been really nice. I would have liked that.
Yeah.
Especially since they could have just made it like a new Nintendo 3DS exclusive, like Xenoblade Chronicles.
Exactly.
That way you have to have the joystick and you could use the amiibo. I think it'd be great. But
I think they should do Mario Sunshine to that too.
Well, I mean, think about it. Hyrule Warriors is getting a 3DS release, so it's not to say that Twilight Princess won't ever have a release on 3DS.
I don't think they'll release it for a 4th time. I really don't.
Twilight Princess?
Yeah.
It's not a 4th time on Twilight Princess.
Okay, GameCube?
Yeah.
Wii. Now Wii U. If they release it for the 3DS, it'll be a 4th time. What was I going to say? Do you think NX will be backward compatible?
No. Yes. I don't know, because there's rumors going around that NX is going to be a full digital console.
I really hope that's not the case, though, too, because I like my cover art a lot.
And we don't know anything about NX. That's the problem, is everything anybody says right now is pure speculation.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff
we know that it's coming.
Wii U, though, is a lot of their stuff is eShop exclusive. A lot of it.
They do have a lot.
So it does make sense that they make the next
one Smash Brothers DLC.
They do the same thing.
Besides, it works really well for PC.
I don't think we're ready for it yet.
So I know, maybe not. But
it works really well for PC and Steam, but I don't.
It may not work. It may not work, but it may. We'll have to.
That's just another example of Nintendo just pushing it a little bit too far. They're just ahead of their curve.
I don't know.
That's exactly what Microsoft tried to do when they were going to make a DRM essentially.
I'm sorry.
I'm just saying I don't. It works for PC and it works for Steam. I don't think console gamers are ready for it. Like he was saying, Nintendo's just a bit too ahead of themselves because Xbox, both Microsoft and Sony have been pushing digital content. They've been trying really hard to get people to buy on digital instead of in store.
They've got a ton of people switched over
because they make a fuck ton more money off of digital. I'm assuming the profit margin for them is much higher on that stuff. But I don't think immediately, and the NX may not come out. It's probably
that's what I'm saying. The NX could come out. We don't know when it's going to come out.
Yeah. So
by the time it does release, people might be more receptive to the idea.
I don't think physical gaming's ever really going to go away.
Gamers are collectors, you know.
Some gamers are. The vast majority are not, unfortunately.
Says the guy who has almost every.
I'm not saying I'm not one of them. I'm 100%.
I like my physical copies because I like
do too.
I do what I do. Like, there's the reason why I own consoles because I could just be a PC gamer because everything that I pretty much play also comes out on PC. I own consoles because it's a game I don't want to own forever.
Oh, speaking of collector's editions and all that, I feel like EA is actually doing an experiment with Mirror's Edge. I swear they are.
Because they're doing the thing with the separate collector's edition.
That is so dumb.
The collector's edition has no game in it whatsoever, and you gotta buy the game separately. I feel like that's an experiment to see how many people will buy just the collector's edition and maybe buy it digitally somewhere else. Because that way you can still get your physical stuff, but not have to worry about having a physical disc that you're not going to use because you're going to buy it download.
That shit pissed me off with Halo. Because I bought that collector's edition and then it went on super sale and was like $100 cheaper, and then they're like, "Oh, you get a digital release." Now I do realize that it came out a week earlier. Like
you also had the opportunity.
You had the opportunity.
I'd have to wait like 2 weeks to get that shit back to me.
They literally would have gotten it back to you in 7 days. They said that if you got the digital copy the day it came out. You contacted them that day, and you sent that stuff out that day, they would have gotten it to you before release.
I'm just glad they at least came out with a steelbook. I'm glad that the collector's edition came with a steelbook. And
I have a lot of empty steelbooks.
I don't like the fact that my steelbook case has no place for a disc. I hate that.
Wait, what?
I get the limited edition version of the game.
Yeah, because it came with your system.
Yeah, because it came with the system. It has no place for a disc. So even if I want to go and buy the physical disc, I can't put it in.
Where's the game sitting?
It's a digital code.
Your limited edition came with a physical copy.
No, the limited edition comes with the only physical
That's why I got mine a week early, the same as you. The Xbox One console bundle came out a week early alongside the collector's.
The only physical copies were the regular game and the limited edition of the game, not the limited edition.
That came out
the limited collector's edition was what they called the legendary, because they couldn't call it legendary edition, I guess, so they didn't want to, because that's what it's always been. It's been regular. It's been regular, limited, and then legendary.
Because of Bungie. Bungie get their legendary edition for Destiny.
Fucking whatever. They need to ride that Bungie hype. Is all I'm saying.
Would you like to see an HD remake of Halo Reach? I know they did the backward compatible part, but I mean, I would. I love Halo Reach. They
did ODST, but they really did ODST more as a we're sorry that Halo Master Chief's launch matchmaking didn't work at launch.
I mean, it's increasingly.
No, it's better. They fixed it. I'm just saying when it came out, it didn't really work. So anybody who bought it within a certain time frame, 343 was like, "Well, here we remastered Halo 3 ODST. Have fun." I don't know how they're going to do. Because you have to think about it. Halo 1 and 2 both got remasters, and those were made by 343 Industries. Or whatever. And Halo 3 doesn't have a remaster yet, and Halo 4 was made by 343. I think the holdup might be the fact that Reach was made by Bungie. Mm-hmm. And while Microsoft technically owns the content, there may still be some kind of hang up there. We may get it eventually, it's not saying that they won't, but they may also see, backwards compatibility, we don't have to anymore.
Did you ever notice that the original version did you play ODST?
Yeah.
Okay, you played the original version?
Yeah.
Okay, so the original version, they had posters inside New Mombasa of Destiny. Mm-hmm. It was the, what's it called? The big white planet thing.
The Traveler?
The Traveler. Next to Earth, and it said, whatever. It said Destiny.
And he claims that he plays Destiny often.
I don't play it often, I play it, but...
Yeah, but...
I have 2 level 40 characters. Dumb poop.
He has 2 level 40 characters. The big glowing orb in the sky. He doesn't know what the fucking name is.
I haven't played that game since Halo came out.
Has a level 20. Knows what it's called.
The Traveler. She's wearing a fucking Traveler shirt right now.
Dude, I love this shirt. This is my second favorite shirt of all time. Grab my boobs.
But
our viewership just went up.
Put that
Doctor Who, that was fantastic.
Put that in the tags when you upload the video. Boobs. VR porn. There's another one.
Oh boy.
But when they did the HD remake of ODST, they took those posters out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because again, it's not their property.
Yeah, I know.
Destiny's 100% not their property, so they couldn't really get away.
And they could if they wanted to pay Bungie.
But they did, and they don't need to tease a game that had come out by then.
Yeah, but
because Destiny was out by the time the Halo 3 ODST remake got released.
What? Oh, okay, yeah. I was going to say,
so there wasn't really any reason for it. And then
Destiny came out 4 years after that.
And then when 343 Industries, they took again, Microsoft owns Halo, but they obviously don't own the rest of Bungie's content.
Sure. What were we even talking about?
That's a good question. No.
Oh, we were talking about definitive editions.
Yeah, I'm telling you, definitive editions are fucking shit.
So we talk about frame per second. Okay, we're gonna skip anime and TV. We can talk about how High School Musical is 10 years old. And because
10 years old! 10 years old! I'm so old, stupid! Check me for gray hairs.
Pokemon turns 20.
You don't have any.
Yep.
You're not that old.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited that Pokemon's turning 20 because they're re-releasing Yellow.
They're doing a that scream was adorable.
Also love the
Your
fact
scream was adorable.
Also love the fact that the new 3DS XL, the new 3DS that's coming out comes with faceplates for red and blue. Yep. Comes with digital copies of red and blue already.
It's still
so
it's a tiny 3DS though.
No, it's an XL.
No,
it's not. No, it's not. No, it's a tiny one that has faceplates.
The XLs do not
have
that's right.
faceplates.
Yeah, it has faceplates.
That's right. That sucks because I really wanted faceplates for
what my one concern, with that is that because they're doing all the faceplate things and because they caved, they were like, we're not going to release the regular size 3DS because nobody fucking bought it. Like once the XL came out, it was pointless, and they're like, we're going to put out both of them because the problem is that. They may use that as an excuse not to release as many collector's editions of the XL because you can't change out the faceplates. And 2, they're more expensive than just buying an XL because they come out at like $220.
Yeah, but they also come with a game.
Yeah, they come with a game, but then
that's why.
Yeah, I'm not saying that that's not why. I'm simply stating
faceplates.
I'm simply stating that like why can't I just get a XL version that has something like that? I'll pay $220 for the XL version. Give me the fucking game.
Because they're giving you faceplates. That's why.
Oh, faceplates. I'll put stickers on my fucking 3DS.
You can
buy your game. Guess what? You don't have to worry about buying $220 for that because you can just buy yellow and then boom, you're done.
I'm just buying yellow. But it would have been nice to have like a special. Like I'm waiting for a special edition 3DS new 3DS XL to catch me the way the Persona one did.
The Persona one is really cool.
That thing is fucking beautiful. I have it around here somewhere.
You can buy cases pretty much for every collector's edition they make. Like, I'm probably going to get the Fire Emblem Fate one when it comes out. Because they have a hard shell case.
Can't wait for that game.
I can't wait for that game either. I'm sorry.
I'm bad at it, but I can't wait for it.
He hates me because I didn't tell him that.
Don't even talk to me about
that. The thing was, the other pre-order was up. You know, it was a limited pre-order. You know what? You can probably still get it from Amazon.
You know what's super funny?
He's going to do it right now. Yep.
I don't know if I want to talk about
Prime?
this.
Because you get that 20% discount.
No, I don't know if I want to get too deep into...
Pre-orders.
Let's
skip. We can talk about Amazon Prime if you get a Prime subscription, which today it is $75 to get a Prime subscription for a year. So it's $25 off, and all your pre-orders to the 2-day shipping, and the Prime streaming of movies and Prime streaming of music.
Stop tapping on the table.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot. It's right there, and it's freaking out. You also get 20% off new games for the first 2 weeks the game is out, and 20% off the pre-order. So if you pre-order a game, you get 20% off of it, which is a match to Best Buy's Gamer Club Unlocked, which is $30.
$35, $30 or $35 for.
It's $30 for 2 years, and then you get the same. But that works on new games as long as they're out. So you can buy Call of Duty Black Ops 3 right now for it's $40 right now, but you still get the 20% off because it's a new game.
Yeah.
So it's an unopened, not pre-owned. So
yeah.
So that's the thing. So they added that 20% off pre-orders and 20% off new games for the first 2 weeks. I think that's awesome. I totally take advantage of that.
I should see if I can renew mine for that price.
Yeah, till 11:59 tonight.
I just use his.
There you go.
It's like the benefits of dating somebody with a Prime subscription.
My lovely friend uses mine too.
I never order anything off of Amazon, but it's just like a thing. What? You can't do it?
It's not. It's
$169. That's definitely not what it cost. But so people who pre-ordered after a certain point, they canceled it because they I think like there were too many pre-orders, and nobody like communicated it out in time that it needed to stop. So nothing got shut down. So people who pre-ordered after like a certain time, it's just they're not getting it. It's not what was it? There was a Batman Collector's Edition, the Batmobile edition that they fucking canceled. They were like, yeah, we're not gonna do that.
Yeah, because the quality was horrible.
Yeah, they're like, we're not gonna do that.
It was like a week.
It comes out.
Where?
I'm gonna go to Best Buy because they always have collector's edition just laying around.
Yeah, that's true.
They had a Kid Boy edition like 3 months after Fallout 4 came out. I'm like, what the hell is this doing here?
Everybody's got one. Everybody's got
Best Buy. Nobody goes to that.
Everybody's got the Super Halo edition fucking lying around.
Oh yeah, but that's not going to sell for $250. Even though, I'd bought it.
It didn't even sell when it was $150. Seriously, I go to Best Buy and they're like stacked in the hallway.
I'm super pissed that I bought it for $250. Super pissed.
No, because you supported 343
That's
Industries.
true, and I do support them.
Like,
and
I don't get mad whenever I buy a game and then like 7 or 8 months or 5 or even like 4 or 5 months down the road.
They discounted.
Now that was super soon.
No, Amazon discounted for like past Black Friday $100. Not $150, $100.
Compare anything to Amazon because Amazon will always be cheaper.
It's kind of like
if you don't buy from Amazon to begin with, that's your own fault. It is always cheaper on Amazon. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's a fact.
That just I don't know. I just like that's $150 I could use on a different collector's edition.
But like I don't I stopped buying collector's editions.
I have a problem.
Like unless they're worth it. Like the Fire Emblem one's worth it because it's gonna have like both games in it and some extra stuff. Like if it's got
it's gonna have all 3 because it's actually 3 parts.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Conquest, I think is the third
Birthright
part.
Conquest, and then like there's Conquest and Birthright are one of the 2 main.
Technically, it's 2 games, and then there's supposed to be like a third one that you can download or something like that. It's like a continuation of the story from wherever you started.
And then it comes with a fancy case, and I think that's it.
But it's still like I like when my collector's editions have because I think EA dropped the ball on a few collector's editions in terms of Mass Effect because they put out the Mass Effect 3 collector's edition was like that steelbook and it had like a couple extra DLCs in it, but it wasn't really anything like massively impressive.
Mass Effect 3? Mass Effect 3...
Was it 3 or 2?
Mass Effect 3 was the one that, like, completely pissed everybody off because the Collector's Editions got the freaking, the Prothean DLC for free.
Oh, yeah,
and everyone else had to pay, $15 day one for it.
You know what? Yeah, that's why people were pissed because it was on disc.
Yeah.
People get so mad. They're like, so it's on disc. And I'm like, I don't even care anymore. I don't give a fuck. People need to accept that you're gonna pay that money anyways, so they're gonna fucking milk that money out of you. So just shut up or don't buy it.
You know what we can't talk about when it comes to pre-orders, though? Street Fighter.
What about Street Fighter?
Every single retailer has an exclusive costume. So if you're a big Street Fighter fan, you are not going to get all of them unless you buy like 12
Well, they're saying. I thought they were saying for Street Fighter that you could earn all the bonus DLC or you could buy it.
I don't know about that.
They did.
They did. I know they said that, but I'm not sure about those extra costumes.
They probably will. Nothing stays exclusive. What they'll probably do is later, especially like because even all the fucking retailer exclusives for Amiibos are starting to go out to everybody. Nothing's gonna stay exclusive.
The only thing that I've seen that's
they may make you buy it later
is things that BioWare and EA have done with their games, like Mass Effect 2 and all that. Getting some of their stuff, like the Terminus armor and the Inferno armor and all that.
Yeah,
all of that stuff
was
very exclusive, and you could only get that one time. If you missed out on it, you could never get it again, unless you got like the PS3 version when they came out because they couldn't do the pre-order bonuses or the special exclusives because
so
it was the first time that they got everything that way. But like that's pretty much all the people. Everybody else I know of, they've always done that. They've always just released it later for you to buy somewhere down the line.
Because if they don't, people are gonna bitch, and nobody wants to hear people bitch. Even
Except
though they're
for EA, EA will have no problem listening to people bitch
EA
because they're used to it.
Even EA doesn't give a fuck.
EA could do something amazingly awesome, and people will still complain about it, so they don't care.
I don't mind. Like, you know what? I actually admire the fact that EA has such a cavalier attitude about everything. They're just like, fuck it. We don't give a shit. We can't do this. Actually, the modder did this. Nope, we can't do it. Sorry. Nope, can't do it.
Deuces.
2 months later, does exactly that.
Just slips it into a patch. We were gonna do this all along. Yeah, sure, whatever the fuck EA.
Okay, let's start a mini rant, and then we can go to a big rant. And
oh god, what's the mini rant?
Obi-Wan is a fucking stud.
Dude, he was right. Fuck that. So I was oddly enough, I was downstairs and my dad was watching the White House movie that had Gerard Butler.
White House. What is it? Not White House.
It's either White House Down is
something is fallen.
Olympus Has Fallen is the one with Gerard Butler and
White
House Down is the one with Channing Tatum, and I'm like, I fuck both of them.
Yes.
But yeah, Ewan McGregor. There was a rumor going around, which is completely unsubstantiated, about whenever they go to do Obi-Wan's like anthology, like his origin story or whatever, they were gonna get Ewan McGregor to do it. But
I hope they do. Oh, I mean,
it's a rumor. We don't even know. He's not old.
He's older.
He's not old. And they can put makeup on. Did you watch Ant-Man?
No.
They fucking digitally altered a dude to look like 20 years younger. It's fine. We can do things with computers.
We want to talk about that. Let's talk about a movie older than that. Let's talk about Tron. With Jeff Bridges, whenever he was like the young.
Oh, and they
Jeff
put him in
Bridges.
Tron, in the new Tron, and he looked.
Tron Legacy, yeah.
Oh.
That's
incredible. Like he made him look super young, like he was from the first movie. It was insane.
Even though, like, because he did, I think, either right after that or right before that, he turned around and did True Grit. Dude looked old as shit in that movie, which he was supposed to. But
Jeff Bridges is hot as hell too, though. Yes, don't give a fuck.
We're talking about the same Jeff Bridges, right?
Yeah, if you want to talk about old people that
just celebrity crushes,
a huge man crush on, you've got to talk about Harrison Ford.
I will still fuck him, dude. Harrison Ford. I don't get. He's aged well, like fine wine.
Like fine wine. You hear that? Like fine wine.
He's fantastic.
Only better with age.
Yep. He's experienced.
But I didn't do an unboxing video for it, but I opened up my Infinity Obi-Wan yesterday.
The light up one?
Yeah, and I'm like, Obi-Wan, my only hope. Yes.
They put out
effects.
They put out a light up one for Obi-Wan
Darth
and
Vader?
I thought it was Anakin.
Maybe. Okay, no, I think you're right. When you put them on the base, their lightsabers light up. I don't know how it works, but it does.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I got a total man crush on Obi-Wan. He's pretty.
I got a man crush on a lot of people, mostly Chris Evans.
She does have a huge man crush on Chris Evans.
Dude, me and Captain America.
You know, you totally missed him. This
I am well aware of what I missed, and I'd rather you not remind me of it. Okay. He was at New Orleans.
What's the name of the guy? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He was at New Orleans Comic-Con.
Yeah.
I could have touched him inappropriately. Yeah.
I would have liked to go just to see Haley Atwell personally.
If we're gonna talk about Avenger crushes, fucking Robert Downey Jr. and
of course.
No, what's his name? No, okay, no. We're like, I like this one even more.
Mark Ruffalo?
Yes,
Yeah,
I fucking love Mark Ruffalo. He is so adorable.
I like Mark Ruffalo, but he looks.
He's so cute.
He spends a lot of time looking confused.
I don't give a shit. He's a cute, confused person.
I feel like he's lost.
He can be lost all the time.
Which fair. I mean, it fits into the Hulk character.
I'll help you out, Mark Ruffalo.
I'll
help you.
They have these cute little like fan drawings of like Mark Ruffalo. I mean, well, of the Hulk in his normal form and like Iron Man in his like not in his suit and stuff, and they're all like just like cute little science buddies. So I'm like, this is so cute. I like fangirl so hard over it.
Okay, Deadpool.
I'll take your nerd card away because you couldn't name Tony Stark or Bruce Banner. I have to take your nerd card.
But you couldn't
away.
name their characters.
Like you were like Hulk in his normal form, and then Iron Man without the armor.
I'm sorry.
It's Tony Stark and Bruce Banner, sir.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna pee on him.
I knew that too. I did. I promise you, I knew that.
We've got the Deadpool movie coming out super soon.
Did you hear about the petition to get the fucking rated PG-13? That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Fuck you, little kids. Fuck you. Like,
exactly.
I'm 8 years old and I really like Deadpool. You shouldn't.
Exactly.
The fact that you're the same reason that you like
know who Deadpool is just it speaks volumes for your parents.
It's the same reason why you like Grand Theft Auto 5. You're still 8 years old. So, because you shouldn't. It's not really that bad of a game. You just turn off the bad settings. Oh, no, bitch.
You can't. There's no
You ride that dick harder than anything.
No, your son is lying to you.
He is lying to you.
I don't like... Deadpool's coming out, and then shortly thereafter, we've got the Captain America Civil War. What other nerd shit's coming out this year?
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
Oh, man. Speaking of doctors. The new Funko Pop series for Doctor Who. Brah. Some of them are already at Hot Topic.
I need a good Hot Topic.
There was somebody showed us the Silence, and it was cute as shit. I was like,
I need Billy Piper.
Justin is like
Alex
really
Kingston.
into those pop things right now, and he's like looking into like doing like trades and stuff with people, and like there's an official trade thing, just like there's an Amiibo one, and man, there's like a version of like Bella from Beauty and the Beast. It's like $200 fucking. There's this glow in the dark ghoul thing that he wants. That's like $200 freaking. I'm like,
crazy.
They're $10.
Yeah.
Like what? I mean,
we had a lot of.
I just bought a Golden Mario amiibo for $30, so shame on me. But I mean, like,
I've heard a lot of people looking for the Severus Snape amiibo.
Of course, they're looking for him now. Yeah,
wait, Severus Snape? You mean Pop?
Yeah, the Pop figure.
Sorry.
I almost bought him yesterday. It was at.
Because
I'm pretty sure I have him. I'm pretty sure I have.
I
got most of the Harry Potter ones.
Because that guy died.
Yeah.
And it was sad. I was sad about.
I was
though I am some
Hans Gruber, man.
It's one of those things. Here's the thing: I'm watching the news, and I'm listening to I'm reading about all these people dying, and I'm like, when the fuck are we gonna cure cancer? Because that's what's killing everybody.
Yeah.
Because
in 1 week, like
Bowie
10
died.
Bowie died. Like Illuminati's pissed at someone, man. Like,
Bowie died. Alan died, and then real off cuff because I just read random news. Celine Dion's husband and brother both died within days of each other of cancer, and I'm like, when are we gonna cure this shit? I would really like to know. Because my odds aren't looking very good right now.
They got the uncle from French Prince of Bel-Air.
No, that was from 2 years ago and it was a lie. You've been trolled, bitch.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Who?
The uncle from
the fat uncle from Fresh Prince. Somebody posted that to Facebook.
If you pull that up right now and it's fucking on there, I'm gonna be so pissed at you. Because you called me a trolled bitch, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna fight. You're gonna win. We were going to talk about Homefront: The Revolution, but I know nothing about Homefront: The Revolution.
Well, he's not. Okay, so sorry, he is dead, but he died 3 years ago.
I'm pissed. I was trolled.
Everybody. So what happened was everybody posted that to Facebook. Like they posted for David Bowie, they posted without, and then but then people just started posting shit. Like I keep posting that Kenny Loggins.
December 31st, man. Like just at the end of 2013. Didn't even see the New Year's.
Who?
James Avery.
Maybe he knew what was coming and said, "Fuck it."
He's
That's
like, I
how
want to
I
see 2014.
That's how I want to go out.
Okay, mini rant's over. What do we want to talk about? Early access?
Was it a mini rant? Wait a minute.
It was Obi-Wan.
It's not a rant. It's like a mini nerd out, but it's not a rant.
Well,
a rant is when you find something you're pissed
mini
about
topic.
and you're like, fuck this
mini
shit.
topic. Okay, now big topic. Early access. We want to talk about early access.
I'm so... Okay. It's weird. Like, I want to believe in early access. I do. And I do. A lot of games, it works really hard. Like, fucking Prison Architect, Kerbal Space Program. But so many times... For every, like, one title that makes it, a bajillion don't work. Towns was a fantastic little game. Fucking failed. Because they just stopped. Space DF9, same thing. They just stopped doing it. Godus, same thing. They just stopped. It's killing me.
Deadlinger, same thing.
I want to believe so hard in the system because it's a great way to think. Like it's a great way to support indie developers. But the problem is they're also so unreliable. Like
thanks for
really
giving my $20.
$20.
I'm not actually finishing this game.
Well, that's the thing is, and they start off really hopeful.
It's not necessarily that too. A lot of times it's the community. They're like, oh, let me buy this early access game. And then all they do is they complain about it. Oh, this game sucks because of this reason. I'm like, yeah, it's not done yet. How about instead of being a judgmental asshole, we actually report those kinds of things, and maybe they can fix it. That's
part of the problem, but a large portion of the problem with early access, especially with the way Steam's model works, is that a lot of times people are starting these games and figuring out it's too much, and they're just not finishing them. Like, they're just disappearing.
A lot of it from what I've seen, most of it from what I've seen, from all the access games that I've seen that have failed, it's a lot of people saying, oh, this game sucks, it's not done, I want a refund. And they want a refund, and I'm like, well... The developers are using your money to help develop the game.
I haven't seen any of that. All of what I've seen is people being like, this game's fantastic, this game's great, but the developer stopped.
I thought you couldn't get a refund on early access games.
You can only get a refund now. Like, Steam has finalized their refund process, which is if you've played a game for less than 2 hours, you can contact customer support and get a refund on it. Which sucks for any developers who put out little games, but...
Well, what do you think about... Okay, so what other... Okay... What are early access games that you're playing right now that you're kind of...
Well, the early access... Yeah, we're playing Ark Survival Evolved is fantastic.
That's going to come out.
But, like, a lot of games, and I go back to them that are early access. I still go back to Space Base, and I still go back to Towns, because what's there was a solid game when it came out, but it's just... The developers just stopped. Like, I don't see what you see. Like, I don't know. We're probably not playing the same early access games, but all the early access games that I play that just stopped working is because there were regular updates, and then the updates stopped coming regularly, and then they just stopped altogether. Like, that's the problem. And everything I hear in the reviews is like, man, this game's great, but it's not, the guy stopped. It's just not being worked on anymore. And that's my problem that I see with early access, is because you want to give these indie developers money, but then you essentially become an investor the way, like, big corporations become investors in things, and you want to see some return out of it, but indie companies are not, sometimes they're not reliable because it's one dude in his basement, and he's got to have a real life.
What do you think is a better system? Do you think it's early access, or do you think it's the one where they go... What is it?
Crowdfunding?
Kickstarter?
Crowdfunding?
Yeah, crowdfunding. I don't know about that. I can't say, like, without being a game developer and knowing, like, exactly, like, what money is needed for what stuff. I'm not well enough educated on the whole process to know what would be a better project. I'm saying, like, I like early access, I think, with some improvements. I don't know what those improvements might be, but I think with more improvements and more accountability, early access would be a good way to do it, because early access is fun. Minecraft did it, in a way. Minecraft, I paid $15 for the game when it came out, and I'm still playing it. Mm-hmm. Maybe not in its original fashion, because I really like going to space and blowing shit up with nuclear missiles. But I'm just saying, like, it's one of those things where it works for some things, but it's so hit and miss that it gives the whole thing a bad rap. Like,
such as Star Citizen, for instance.
Yeah.
Who's crowdfunded millions and millions of dollars and has shown almost nothing in return to its investors.
Yeah, that game's been in development for
but then,
6
years. Kickstarter has the same pitfalls. Because for every super successful Kickstarter you hear about, there's 20 that don't do anything. Yeah. Or there's even some that will surpass their funding and then just run away with it. Like, none of it's a foolproof system. But that's
a scary thing, too.
None of it's foolproof, and
well,
that's how
Kickstarter's policy is if somebody goes to Kickstarter something and they don't go through with it, they won't take your money and run away. Kickstarter will make. Well, yeah, no, Kickstarter will make they will give the investors their money back.
Kickstarter will do that, and Steam has stepped in. I don't like. I remember examples, but I don't know specific examples. But I know they've stepped in on behalf of a lot of gamers in some cases and been like, okay, you're obviously getting fucked. We can't allow that to happen. But for things like where you put your money in, and let's say Towns and Space Base, they updated regularly for a while, and then it just stopped. Like it's not one of those things where the developer had bad intentions. They went in being like, hey, I'm gonna get all this money and I'll be done with it. But it's just there's no better system. But you have to. This is how we get all these great indie games. This is how we get all these great new developers. Is they get like Kerbal Space Program and Prison Architect, for example, are fantastic games, and they are that way because of the early access program. So if we don't have the early access program, we have all these artists that never get to get their work out there. But if I do have this early access program, you've got to be real careful how you navigate it.
Right.
Like, I'd have recommended if Space Base, by the time I bought into it, it was right before it stopped. I'd have recommended it to everybody who liked games like that, because it was super fun to play when it first started. And then Godus is an example, too. That's fucking Peter Molyneux. I don't even want to talk about that fucking asshat. But that was a super fun game when that started, too, and I like that, and then the
updates very strong opinions on Peter
I have a lot of strong opinions on that guy.
This is why we have you here, because you're good.
I have a lot of strong opinions on that fuck ass. Here's Fable 2, you get a dog. Yay! Dog! I don't give a fuck. I don't want the goddamn dog. I want the game to be better, Peter Molyneux. I want you to give me finished shit. Stop. He's always like, look at me, I'm gonna promise. He's like, I'm gonna promise all these things, and he gives you nothing. He gives you jack shit. That man is a fucking tease. He's like a hooker.
Not in a good way.
He's like a really shitty hooker. You give him money and he gives you nothing. You don't even get to come off.
A game that I've actually been thinking about doing the early access for was the Long Dark, and I know I asked you a little bit about it. Do you know anything about the Long Dark?
No.
It's supposed to be an apocalypse style game where it's pretty much like the world.
I've seen some stuff on it, but I don't really.
It's just a really pretty artistic game, and like the world is had it like a freezing apocalypse or whatever. What do they call that?
Ice Age.
Sorta, yeah.
Closer to
freezing apocalypse, yeah.
An Ice Age, yeah.
An Ice Age, and so pretty much like there's no zombies, there's no like crazy fucking like there's just cracking in half.
There's just crazy people.
There's just hungry people and animals and wilderness and reverted to old states of things, and it's just a really pretty game.
Well, and I think part of that's one of the ways that the early access. I think that's one of the ways early access both helps and kills itself at the same time is. You see the super successful games are the ones that catch on and get, like, promoted by big people. So,
yeah, because that was being promoted by Xbox.
Exactly. So, fucking Prison Architect, that thing blew up. People fucking love that game. Ark Survival is getting an Xbox release.
It already has one.
Well, yeah.
They've already done, like, an early access release.
They've done an early access. One. And then,
and it actually has sold more on Xbox One than it has on PC.
Because more people have,
And I think a lot of that might be because PC people, again, are burned on early access.
Yeah.
True. But it's one of the
things... Plus, not just that. Let's be honest. Consoles do not have a large amount of open world survival games.
That's
PC
true.
is flooded with open world survival games. They are everywhere. I can't go through a Steam page without seeing one open world survival game being thrown in my face. Whether it be DayZ, H1Z1,
did you ever get DayZ?
Subnautica,
or H1Z1?
No. What was it I was thinking of? Stranded Deep.
Minecraft is technically.
Minecraft, technically, yes.
Open world survival.
You've got 7 Days to Die. Rust, yes, exactly. They're all over the place on PC.
But I think that, again, that's one of the pitfalls of the early access program is you have so many early access games. The Greenlight system was the same way. There was so much shit that you can really only pick out a few gems, and anything that wasn't getting paid attention to, like anything that didn't get a spotlight shined on it, pretty much ran out of money. Mm-hmm. Because, yes, you're an investor in this project, but they can't come back to you later and be like, hey, we need more money to get this done.
Right, because you're
So once I pay my $15, they take my $15 to $20, they take my $15 to $20 and they do whatever they can with it. But what happens, because nobody's paying attention to that project, what happens when the new investors stop coming?
I almost wonder if that's like a... Okay, we're going to dip a little bit into pre-orders. Do you think it's a better version? You think it's a better system than pre-order system? Because people do the pre-order thing because, like, oh, we're going to do this to get this money. We can release this shitty-ass game.
It depends on how you look at the pre-order system. Because a lot of times pre-order systems and places aren't, like, it's not, I give you the money to pre-order this, and I can never get that money back. That's what doesn't make sense to me, is how people get super mad at the pre-order. They're like, well, I pre-ordered this game. It should be 100% complete. I'm like, technically, you gave somebody money to hold for you until this game came out. That's pretty much what you did.
Yeah. That's pretty much like
Early
I'm
access
going to buy this game.
Early access
then,
is different. Early access, I'm taking my money and I'm giving it to this developer and I'm saying, make this game. I want to see this game.
Not just that, you
survive.
also get immediate access to it.
Yeah, I get immediate access. Pre-order, I go to GameStop, I go to Walmart, I go to Best Buy, I give them $5 to $10, and I'm like,
Walmart.
I'm like, hold on. Well, I mean, they do pre-orders. I'm like, hold on to this for me. I want to get this game. This is my telling you that I'm going to buy this game, and that does tell. Now the developers do get the money immediately, and the fact that tells that company how many of that they need to buy. So yes, the company does get that immediate money because we give them money saying, yes, I'm going to buy this game. And so they go, well, I need this many copies. I have to buy this many copies. They can't get the money back based on the games that they don't sell. Now there's a formula where they get a certain amount, like they get a certain higher profit the more they sell, but it's super like in depth into the business. But it's one of those things with the pre-order system. I don't understand why people I get why people get mad at it, and then I get why they don't. Like I don't understand it at the same time because they're like, yes, this game wasn't finished. I pre-ordered it. It should have been finished. And I'm like, no. You gave somebody money to hold for a little bit so you could get this game, and then the game came out and you purchased that game. You should be mad that you bought the game. You shouldn't be mad that you pre-ordered it.
Right.
You should be mad that you bought it.
The problem that they don't like pre-ordering is because when you pre-order at a retailer, for instance, then that means the publisher knows how many of those to make and sell to those retailers and ship to those retailers. Once the game has been shipped from the publisher to those retailers, the publisher has already gotten that money because the retailers have already bought the money from them. So by pre-ordering it, they know how many they can ship. Without that number, then they'll sell a little bit. Then whenever the feedback comes back and everybody's all like, oh, this isn't a good game, then they won't make as much money. But because everybody pre-orders it, they ship it out, make a bunch of money, and then it's a bad game. And then they're like, well, we already get the money, so who cares?
And that's why I said that I both understand why people get mad and then don't get it at the same time. Because technically, as the customer, it doesn't affect you that much. If you let's say you're a little late on picking up the game. Yeah, it sucks for people who buy the game when it comes out. Let's say I wait a couple days to pick up Call of Duty Black Ops 400. I don't know when they're going to stop.
Modern Warfare 4.
I hear reviews on it that say it's not that good. Maybe I don't want to pick it up. I just go get my money back. Like, that's one of those things. Like, I both understand why people are mad because, yes, they do, I already have this money so I can just put the game out. But I also don't understand why, personally, they get so fucking angry about it.
The problem is because by pre-ordering it, it's basically like telling the publisher it's okay to make a bad game because you're going to make your money even if I buy the game or not. Because if I pre-ordered, you know you're going to ship one copy to that store that because going to buy that. They've made money off of that retailer already. Whether I buy it or not, the publisher's already made the money on it.
Let's dwindle season passes into that too, because then you get
now season passes are just fucking retarded.
I agree with that.
I don't like season passes were a way. And it's fucking Call of Duty started this shit because they're like, well, and to be fair, they deliver on the maps. They do. It's not saying that like season passes are a bad thing, but it's one of those things.
It's a fucking another game though. It's $50.
Well, that's the thing though. Other people like before we're so used to. Yes.
Can I interrupt something?
Yes, you are.
Good.
What do you want?
I just want to interrupt something.
Well, great. Now I have to edit this out. Thanks, Dad. Anyways.
Wait, what did he ask?
She was asking if he was interrupting something.
Oh.
But so season.
That's all I want to do is just interrupt something.
I think the reason why we don't like season passes is because it's forcing us to face the fact that gaming is evolving to a point where
it's not evolving; it's devolving.
No, that's the thing is there's two different versions of it because again, well, one it used to be that if I bought a game and it just came out like that, like I bought a game and that was all the game, but like now it's both a blessing and a curse at the same time because let's say they come out like BioWare is a great example of this. I love their content. When they come out with DLC, it's actual fucking CD Projekt Red did the same thing with the expansion passes for the expansion packs for Witcher. Sometimes they put them out and they're great. Like, it's stuff that they couldn't have gotten done and still put the game out in a timely manner. So I'm not that, I don't feel that bad getting the game and then being like, oh, well, in a few months after I'm done with the game, I'm going to have new content to play. I'm going to have an expansion to the story.
It gives me a reason to go back and play the game.
Gives me a reason to go back and play the game. But for games like, for shooters, for like Call of Duty and Star Wars Battlefront and all that, they're just like, well, here's extra maps.
Well, this is the thing that kind of gets me about these shooters. Because guess what? That next year's game comes out. You're spending another $120. Guess what? That $50 you spent on that season pass gets you nothing now.
And that's
But it was for the content over that year though.
And that's irritating.
Okay, now if it was a $30 season pass or a $25 season pass, I'd buy it every single year, no problem. But it's $50. That's a whole nother game. Like,
right, but you have to blame the consumer
Yeah,
at
you
that
have to
point.
blame, yeah.
Because
they're
Call
buying
of Duty
it at that
originally only had, what was it, like 3 maps, I think, and they were like $10 a piece. Then one year, I think it was Modern Warfare 2, they decided, hey, let's do 5 maps at $15, and people bought those. So they were like, we can put it at $50 a year. It'd be great.
Essentially, a lot
Stop
of
buying season passes, people.
A lot of things that happen in gaming is specifically because they slip this. They test
Another
it
reason
out.
why gamers are retarded.
I mean, it's both. I mean, it's one of those things.
Sorry, that was very not
For
politically
that
correct.
Very insensitive.
For that particular reason, not really. Like, we're stupid when we complain about something. Like, we're stupid when we complain about a game changing, but then get mad when it doesn't. But for something like season passes, we bought those things, and the system has evolved beyond what it started as. So it's this monster that grew out of our control. So, like, yeah, it was nice to play a game and then have some extra, like, be able to buy extra content for that later. Because if I really like this game, I don't want to stop playing the game. I want more content for it. But then I go back and I have to, like, for Call of Duty, I have to spend $50 extra. The day it comes out, I can spend $50 extra and get those maps later down the road. And it's evolved into this monster. Like, in theory, when it started, it was a fun thing. It was.
On top of that,
and sometimes it's
the way season passes work, as opposed to DLC comes out, then you buy the DLC. Season pass is that you are paying up front for content that you have no idea what it's going to be exactly.
Right.
Well, you're paying for future content.
Well, some of it they detail. Like with the Watch Dogs, like some of them, but fucking Bethesda.
But you don't know exactly what it entails. Like,
no, you don't.
When the DLC comes out, you can see it. You can see if you want to spend the money to buy it. With Season Pass, you're paying that money up front, and then you may or may not like the DLC when it comes out.
Now, here's the thing, though. One of the benefits to Season Passes, you don't have to, like, they're always available. So let's say I buy Watch Dogs, for example, because we were talking about it earlier. Let's say I buy Watch Dogs, and I don't know if I'm going to like the DLC, so I wait for one of the DLC packs to come out, and I watch somebody play it, and I go, that's nice, let me buy the Season Pass. Like,
that's true.
6 or 7 months later. So it's one of those things where it's a personal opinion on whether or not you like it, but overall, as a whole, I don't think it's that good I don't think it's that good for gaming, mostly because they're using it as a way to milk more money. Now, like I said, in certain instances, it's good. The Dragon Age...
Halo 5 was great. All their stuff is free.
All their stuff
Rainbow
is free.
Siege.
Rainbow Six Siege, but
Battlefront was supposed to be.
It's EA, let's be
honest.
With
With Dragon Age and Witcher, Dragon Age doesn't necessarily have a season pass, but I'm going to lump it in with that because they do extra DLC. With Dragon Age and Witcher, they add substantial enough content that I don't mind, and their season passes for Witcher was only $35.
But I mean, I guess you could still argue though.
Yeah.
That stuff should have been in the game.
No,
Now I understand that they get it on in a timely fashion. No, but you could still make that same exact argument that you can make for Call of Duty, for Smash Brothers, for Street Fighter. Well, Street Fighter is going to be the free deal, free whatever. I mean, where were the good old days of being able to unlock everything? You know.
Well, like, and I don't.
Now,
think
don't get me wrong.
I
do support. I buy season passes sometimes. It's not like I'm totally against it.
I think another large portion of it is games aren't as cheap to make as they used to be.
Oh no! That is a very good point.
They're not as cheap to make as they used to be. So they have to make that extra money somewhere, and they have to. So it might not be that they could have made it when it came out. It could have been that this is the money we have to make this game right now. This is what we can make. And then later on, they're like, hey, with all the money that you guys gave us because you bought the game because you thought it was great, and we appreciate that, here's some extra content.
So you can keep enjoying your game.
So you can keep enjoying the game, but hey, don't get mad at us. Pay us a little more money because that way we can put that money towards the next project.
Now, there was a study done somewhere. I don't remember where it was. That said that game developers should be charging a lot more than $60 for the games at the release.
But people won't pay more than $60. They should be, because games cost about as much money to make now as movies. Oh, yeah. Like Grand Theft Auto costs
$80 million?
A shit ton of money.
Was it how much? No,
I'm not gonna try to say exact numbers because I'm gonna be wrong. But they cost a shit ton of money to do that kind of stuff, and it's not. It's very weird. Because it's one of those things where you have to. There's so many different variables involved, and it just comes down to how do you feel about it. Like, I don't like season passes. I don't. I like some for certain games. I can see where they're nice. Witcher, Dragon Age, RPGs if they expand the story. I don't really much like them for Call of Duty or Battlefront or stuff like that because you're just giving me an extra map to play on. Now, if they gave you more content, it wouldn't be a bad thing. If along with that map, I also got like extra weapons or I got an extra story mission or something like that, I wouldn't be so upset. But for some games, it's just this cosmetic thing. Like, I pay you a fuck ton of money and you give me an extra backyard to play in.
Right.
And Call of Duty, that's all people care about.
Oh, I mean,
and it's the audience. You also have to consider the audience for that particular.
I mean, you look at games like The Witcher and you look at games like Call of Duty. Which one was probably more expensive to make?
I'm gonna go with Witcher.
Boom. And guess what? Their DLC is $15. Guess what? They're only releasing 2 additional story packs?
Well, they released the 2 additional story packs, but they also released a fuck ton of little extra DLC like
exactly. That was a whole bunch of shit. It was free. Exactly. So, there's so many arguments you can hold with season passes. I honestly think that they shouldn't be nearly as much as they did. Now, you see, if Call of Duty released their season passes for $30, I'd buy every single one of them. I sure would. Because I buy Call of Duty every year. I'm that person. I am that asshole that makes so much money.
It goes back to what he said. People bought it when they did that, and nobody... If there was more people supported it, or at least didn't vocally object to it, that...
With their money, by not buying.
But yeah, they
I know people bought it, that it was socially acceptable.
And then when they did it again, people were like, oh, okay, I guess this is just how this is now.
And it's a digital thing, so it's 100% profitable because they don't have to sell...
They don't have to,
No, so retailers get cuts.
It's a lot of different things.
No manufacturing fees.
Right.
Yeah, so it's a lot of different variables. Which
we are in an hour and a half. Do you want to wrap it up?
Yeah.
We can talk about what we're going to talk about in the next episode.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Division beta starts not next week, but the week after. So I feel like next week we can do some Division hype.
Okay.
I also think we should talk about hero shooters, Overwatch, Battleborn. You can consider Rainbow Six Siege.
For the 3 people that watch, if they have something they want us to talk about, they can always
hit the comments. Seriously, if you want us to talk about something, if you want,
or hit up Jackass on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm the only asshole on Twitter. Always resolve. It's the same. Are you?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, let's put some plugs out there then. Okay, so I'm on Twitter. All my usernames are the same: Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, everything. Everything is always resolved. Snapchat, send me your dick pics.
Don't
do it.
He didn't say that. I'm editing that part out.
No.
It's just gonna be send me your.
Please put a beep over it. No, because last week we were talking about dick pics.
Anyway, dick in his mouth.
Can I put another beep there?
There you go. We have said the F word 6,000 times in this episode.
I'm not believing that.
Don't actually send me your member pics. I'll probably be pissed off at you. But
they're going to now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do it.
The whole 3 people that watch our episodes.
I'm gonna send you mine.
You're not on anything yet, but we're working on that.
Right now, I do my own separate content on YouTube. She does her own separate content on YouTube.
Yep, I'm on...
We both regularly update.
I'm on YouTube. I'm on Twitch. I'm never actually on Twitch.
Yeah.
And I'm on Twitter, and it's all at Max. It's all Max Pilot.
All that's tagged in our actual page. You just go to the info.
It'll be in the description.
I tagged it in the banner.
I don't
Anyway.
It's in the description, bitch.
So yeah,
Some of us watch on mobile devices.
Some of us do watch on mobile devices. So yes, next week we are doing the Division hype. We're talking about hero shooters. The other 2 hero shooters that I was trying to say. Rainbow Six Siege is kind of a hero shooter. Black Ops 3 is also kind of a hero shooter. They're not arena. They're not a... Okay, we'll talk about it. He's going to have to
define hero
We're going to talk about it next episode. And that is it. So that wraps up episode 2 of the Console Wars podcast. And we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.